The heroes are outraged, slap in the face, pathetic, worst possible insult. Associations, unions, and the opposition in Great Britain are stunned and offended and use those words. It has been announced that the highly acclaimed NHS nurses will receive a 1% wage increase. The guardian angels of the nation see themselves fobbed off with breadcrumbs. The government snatched a long-promised wage increase from them. There's already talk of a strike. The union Unison emphasized that in view of an expected inflation of 1.5%, it was a real wage cut. It's an inopportune dispute for the government. The country is still fighting the corona pandemic, and there are thousands of corona patients in clinics. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has announced a realistic step-by-step plan for the end of the corona measures. But the fact that the head of government, who has often shown himself to be chum with NHS workers and was treated for days in hospital for a COVID illness, is not rewarding the commitment of the so-called frontline fighters, nor at the painstakingly built image of the crisis manager. Instead, there are warm words for the COVID heroes. The whole country is very grateful to the health and social workers for what they have done, the Prime Minister said recently. When it comes to wages, however, the government remains tough. Fighting the pandemic has cost a lot of money on all fronts. Health Secretary Matt Hancock stressed that the NHS forces had been scraped out of a zero round for the public service. But the fact that Treasury Secretary Rishi Sunak did not mention the NHS when he presented his budget caused anger, as did remarks from Secretary of State for Nursing Nadine Dorries. She was pleasantly surprised that a wage increase was even possible, Dorries told the BBC. Nurses love their job. They do their job because they love their job. But the Royal College of Nursing, the RCN, takes a very different view. Many of the 450,000 or so members were planning to quit their job, RCN representative Patricia Marquis told Times Radio. RCN has calculated that an experienced force will remain an additional £3.50, that's €4.05 per week after the increase. That slap in the face has reinforced their belief that neither the government nor parts of the public value them the way they would like them to be valued, said Marquis. RCN is already collecting strike money. The British Medical Association is considering recommending that its 159,000 members refuse extra shifts. Premier Johnson is now even threatened by a revolt by his own Conservative Party. Ex-Health Secretary Dan Poulter said it was the wrong time to cut wages for NHS workers who went beyond their limits in the pandemic. Conservative MP Roger Gale told BBC Radio 4, "The way this has been presented and handled has been inappropriate." Political commentators in London point out that money basically seems to be there. Billions have been budgeted for the high-speed 2-rail project, which aims to better connect economically remote areas in northern England to the capital. Military spending has increased by a multiple of billions, and in return hundreds of millions of pounds of development aid have been saved. Johnson and Health Secretary Hancock also have to put up with sharp allegations because companies with connections to friends and supporters of the Conservative Party have received orders for corona protective equipment worth millions. A previously unused TV studio that the Premier had set up for his press conference cost £2.6 million. And finally, there is the equipment scandal surrounding Johnson's official residence. His fiancée Kerry Simmons had the Downing Street apartment refurbished. It is said to have cost around £200,000. As the Daily Mail reported on Saturday, the Conservative Party is said to have taken over a large part of the costs at Johnson's request. Now, wealthy supporters are to step in to offset the controversial payments, as the newspaper wrote. And that is really a picture. I'm not saying here in Germany we are paying nurses what they deserve to, but that's an ongoing discussion at the moment. When it comes to that in the next round, they really have to get more as well. And so I say the same about the UK. If my government would make that same mess, I would hit them hard as well. And if in the next budget round it will look the same here, I will do. But for now, auf Wiedersehen.